Hey everyone, it's Dr. Nic and Mike Sebastian, the Dream Team here with Divine Guidance Institute and Wellness Center, Modern Day Mystery School, teaching you the ancient way of knowing so you never get blindsided again. Today's hot topic, blindsided and relationships. Most people ask us about relationships, what to do about it, how to get improved, how to find the one. Well, we're going to talk about the problem and the solution. And let me just jump right in here. 81% of people lie on their online dating profile, and 45% of married people end up divorced. That's the current stat. So here's the thing. Everyone's lying about the truth, and no one's using the higher tools of discernment to know that people are full of shit. So then they're dating people. Then they're even going to get married. Then they end up divorced. So if you're using these higher tools, these problems aren't going to occur as much. Even J. Lo was blindsided. Back in April, she was in New York filming, and this story's in the press. She was filming in April in New York. She returned home to find that Ben had already started moving his things out of their home, and she essentially was blindsided and ghosted. He would not take her calls or text messages. So here we go. It doesn't matter who you are or what's going on. If you're human, you're getting blindsided. If you're human, you've been in a not great relationship, including us. Let's turn it over to Michael.
We've all been blindsided at one time or another, and we've been blindsided a lot in life. I mean, we're even blindsided in our career and in finance, uh, where we move to, and suddenly the place sucks and we have to move again. Especially, though, in personal relationships, because that goes on every single day. And, I never realized how much I was looking at the outer parts, the data, what was going on, how the person looked, walked, talked. But then, what are they really like when you get to know them? And I'd been married for some time, and suddenly I got served with a divorce notice out of the blue. I mean, it literally took me by surprise. I was totally and completely blindsided. And it was like, whoa. And I started dating 5 different people, one for each day of the week, not including the weekend. I did take off on the weekend. And the diversity was tremendous. And they were very, very different people. And the ages ranged all the way from down to up. But as it turned out, they were what we call placeholders. And I don't mean to be, dissing them at all. It's just that they certainly were not the one. But in the meantime, that's what I did. I dated 5 different people to fill in the gaps in my life so I'd feel like I was in some way in harmony with going forward. But the blindsided really, really took me by surprise. And that's when I began to look around and ask myself, what am I missing? What tools do I have access to that could lead me to my soulmate, to lead me to the one?
Everyone. And ultimately, why was Michael dating 5 people? Because the harmony wasn't there. The harmony was not there within these relationships, and that's what's up with everybody today. And now let's go to my story back in the beginning. I was dating someone for a while, like 6 months, and this is before cell phones. This is before the internet. We're talking in the 90s here. And it was New Year's Eve, and he said, "Hey, I'll pick you up at your house." Okay, great, great, great. Well, New Year's Eve came and went. The guy never showed. I've never talked to the guy again, even till this day. Totally ghosted me. That wasn't the term back then, but that's the term nowadays, ghosted. And I was totally distraught. Like I said, no cell phones or any of that stuff. It was just a house phone or a pager. And Poof, the guy disappeared. I thought, is he dead? Is he in the hospital? What happened? What happened? For 4 days, I was crying incessantly. I was really, really messed up. Then on the fourth day, I have a dream. I wake up and I remember a dream, and I had not even entertained the idea that dreams did much of anything. I have a dream, and it's him with his two young daughters, holding each one hand in hand, walking away from me, in the other direction. That was the dream, the whole dream. When I woke up, I knew exactly what had happened to this guy that ghosted me. He got back with his family and was headed in another direction. That dream instantly gave me the insight, the truth, the knowingness. I was no longer distraught. I was so relieved to know the truth and know what happened. I was like, it was a brand new day. And then it also taught me that dreams, holy shit, like this is the real deal. There's so much more to it than we even are aware of. And wow, we need to, this is a big deal. Okay. This other information. So pretty much, you know, it wasn't shortly thereafter, couple months. I'm in school, first day, sociology class. Michael, my instructor, walks in, and the minute he walked in, I knew he was the one. My voice, the inner voice, intuition started screaming, he's the one, you have a mission, blah, blah, blah. And, keep in mind, he was twice my age at the time. Anyway, I ran home. I told my roommate. I was only 24 years old, or 23, actually. And I ran home and told Heather. I said, Heather, I'm going to marry the guy in a heartbeat. She thought I was nuts. I waited till the semester ended. Then I saw him in the hallway, and then I asked him out the next semester. So, long story short, then we went to lunch the next day, dinner the next night. Then we were engaged in 90 days and married in 9 months. But now let's back up for a minute. So that was the intuition. Okay. Letting me know. Now, Michael, tell about
And
the sign.
then I was, yeah, the signs. And it's interesting because, what do we really have for relationships? So you got the vision, you're in harmony, when you're really supposed to date someone, as opposed to getting blindsided. Well, one of the telltale things is signs. And dreams are great. Intuition's great. A lot of people say they don't understand them, though. They don't know what a gut feeling really is, as opposed to a thought. Well, signs are easy because they occur outwardly. So when I was walking Nicole on our date back to her car, the license plate on her car started with KRW, three initials that were the exact initials of my previous wife. And it jumped out at me like, oh my God, what does that mean? That was the first thing. And then I realized it meant serious relationship. Previous wife, this is going to be a serious relationship that's going to take a right turn and go a direction of hooking up. And it was interesting because signs are all around us all the time. There was the license plate, and then other things started occurring, other types of signs. And I began to slowly connect the dots. And that's what connecting the dots means. In other words, kind of waking up, looking around and going, oh, wow, look, that's a sign. And then I turned my radio on in my car, and the DJ's saying something about, a sign of the times. And whoa, what a coincidence. That's a message. And it was a message to me to pay attention that a serious relationship was occurring and that it was going to my life was really going to take a right turn and go a different direction.
And it sure did.
Yes, it did.
So as I mentioned, okay, married in 9 months. Yep. All right. So we're married. Now keep in mind, he didn't tell me about the sign. I didn't mention the gut feeling. We just kind of went down the road. And then 2 years, although we did start doing the mission, that came, started. Anyway, 2 years after we were together, I became a fitness trainer. And when I did, Michael had a major deja vu. Michael?
Yeah, I realized that I had had a dream previously, many, many years prior, and that
5 years
5 years prior. And in the dream, I had met a girl in the dream, and her name was Nicole, and she was a fitness trainer. And it was really interesting because as it all came back in, it was a prophetic vision. It was a snapshot of what was going to happen 3 years down the way when we would meet, and 5 years until I actually had access to the information and the dream, which luckily I journaled at the time. And NBC actually came in and recorded the whole thing. So it made it really clear for me.
Yeah. So anyway, you guys, some of you have heard the story, but it was important and really relevant to this podcast that we go down this road with our story, because it wasn't always rosy. I'll tell you, we've been blindsided, and that's why we were so insistent on starting the nonprofit, because it is a crisis. It's literally a public crisis. People getting blindsided left and right. It is in the headlines daily. And we refer to the news headlines often, but relationships, again, that's one of our biggest questions from clients and people in general. So we wanted to hone in on that today on this podcast specifically. Okay, so you got the stats, and you got the J-Lo story, then you got our own story, and then you got the turnaround, the dream, the sign, the intuition between the three of us. I mean, between both of us, and coming together and full knowingness that, okay, we're to be together, which is crazy. I mean, Michael's twice my age, like I said. So it's like, what the hell? And back then it wasn't okay. It was really, frowned down upon. Now it's no big deal. But back then, so we were going against the tide, if you will. But anyhow, his dream, that was a déjà vu. That's French. It means having seen before, and it's a forgotten prophetic dream, a forgotten prophetic dream. So, which now we're going to roll into a few really cool stories and then some techniques for you guys. So, here's the deal. Here's 4 clients and 4 different dream stories about their relationship, all giving them insight into what to do with the relationship and what's coming down the way. So, one dream, one client, he has a dream. He's in the hotel with his girl, and they're dating long distance relationship. And it was like, I don't know, a year or 2 that they'd been dating. Anyway, he has this dream. He's in a hotel, and there are 2 hotel rooms with an adjoining door. And he walks through the door, and she stands at the doorway, and she will not walk through the door into the next room. She stands there. She will not budge. Pretty much that's the whole dream. So when we're doing the dream with this guy, there's the message. The message is, you've taken this relationship as far as you can go. It's done. She's not moving one more step down the road with this relationship, because they were deciding, should I move here? Should you move there? Should we move somewhere else? Da 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 da. Bottom line, the dream showed him. It's done. Ain't nothing happening. Ultimately, this is it. Now, he didn't follow the message. So, how did it play out? He stayed in the relationship another 6 months, 9 months, and ultimately it went bust. But, and that's cool, because now he was able to experiment with the dream and know, like, the messages were real, the guidance was real. He just needed to, to go through the experience and waste essentially another 6 to 9 months, which is fine, because now he knows that, the stuff is legit. Here's another story. Or actually, these are actual experiences, mind you. They're not stories, really. But he was dating this girl, different guy, and he's taking out her garbage. He's cleaning her place in the dream, taking out her garbage. And it's a new relationship, like 2 months. And in the dream, she says, no, don't take all my garbage. Bring some of that back. Don't take it all and throw it out. And that's the whole dream. Message to him: was she's not ready to release all of her baggage and go down the new journey in this relationship with you. She's not ready. She's not willing and ready to move forward. So that was why, she said, bring some of my garbage back, the baggage. So what happened there? It lasted another 2 months and poof, that was the end of that one. Now we've got another client. And this one's really cool. This is the opposite. He was wondering, is this legit? Should I stay in this relationship? Should we get out? What, where's it going to end up? He has a dream. It's him and her in a semi truck. And on the side of the truck, the name says Long Haul Trucking. Long Haul Trucking. The message? They're in it for the long haul. She's in it for the long haul. And sure enough, the relationship lasted and was, a good relationship. Now, let me share one more before I throw it to Michael. This last one is a little different. And let me back up. Whatever you're wondering about the relationship, okay, first off, use the tools to know if someone is being honest on their profile, to know if you should even bother dating. Use the tools to know if they are the one, if you should move forward. Are you in it for the long haul? Getting a peek around the corner, if you will, really, so you can see down the road to know which decisions to make. If you should waste your time, if you're wasting your time, rather, or, if things are going to be cool. Well, here's another question, are they cheating? What's going on? So here we go. Client, and she's concerned about the guy, her husband, and at work and coworkers. And, cheating, potential, this type of thing. Well, there's one coworker and they work pretty close together, and she was concerned about that. Then she has a dream. The dream shows her it's only casual. And I'm not going to get into every detail of the dream because it's a lengthy dream. Bottom line, there was a beanbag in the dream. There's a beanbag and he's sitting in the beanbag and not at the formal dinner table, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, the dream message was, yes, they're close. Yes, they communicate, but it's casual and it's not a big deal. No, he's not cheating. Okay, so there you go. There's 4 different dreams, 4 different clients, 4 different situations showing you what to do in the relationship.
Dreams are a tremendous thing that we have at our disposal that we can use. We dream every night. Whether we remember the dreams, whether we use the dreams is immaterial. But it's totally material in the sense that we have them. Everyone dreams, whether you believe in them or not. And when we begin to, those 4 stories are very indicative of how the dream presents the problem, and every dream presents the solution. It shows us the problem and the solution. And it's always an overview. And people wonder, like, wow, how do dreams do that? I mean, they're really predicting the future. Dreams do that because they come from a place where we go when we dream. There's no time. They're in the moment. There's only the moment. There is no past. There is no future. That's pure quantum physics. That's the universe. Everything else is kind of an illusion. And dreams go above that, like going in a spaceship off planet where you look back and suddenly it doesn't look like Ohio or New York or California. It looks like, whoa, a blue planet. Very, very different. That's how dreams are. They give us a snapshot of what's coming and an overview. And they are extremely accurate. And the best part is if we begin to track our dreams, perhaps journal our dreams. You can test it. You don't believe it? Just journal a few dreams and then go back and look at them in a week, in a month. And you'll go, wow, oh my God, they were so prophetic. That dream was showing me what was going to occur a week later in my life. That's how they work. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want that type of guidance? And that tool is there, like I said, whether we use it or not, it occurs every night. And whether we believe in them or not, we still have dreams and we can use them. So we highly recommend using dreams on a daily basis and begin to journal them. And they're easy, actually, once you work with a few, they're easy to interpret.
Hey, And I'm glad you mentioned that, Michael, because I was just about to share with them a dream decoding technique. It's like, okay, all this stuff is great. Well, how the hell do you decode the stuff? Well, yeah, very good. Dream decoding is real simple. And forget a dream dictionary, because we are unique. And what one symbol means to Sue, it means something else to Beth. Let me tell you. If you both dream of water and one of you almost drowned a month ago and one of you loves scuba diving, the symbol water means something very different for both of you. It means a love and having fun, and the other person, it means fear. Anyway, you get the point. So, how do you decode a dream? The symbols, it's word association. Just like I gave you water, drowning and scuba diving. So, word association, what the symbol means to you. Quick word association. Second, what's going on in my life today? What was I thinking about yesterday? What was I wondering about? There's a direct correlation you can make with your word association and what were you thinking about. And let me bust this myth right here. A lot of people think when they have a dream, oh, I dreamt of that because it was on my mind. And then they blow it off. Exactly. But don't blow it off. You dreamt about it because it was on your mind, but there's a pearl of wisdom within the dream. Okay. So that's what that's about. Dream decoding. And just experiment, as Michael mentioned, journaling. Just write the stuff down, track your data. Don't make decisions yet. Just track your data and see how things turn out. And you will see in no time that you've been having prophetic dreams and guidance dreams and warning dreams for quite a while, actually your entire life, because they are on autopilot. All of the tools are on autopilot, and there's 24/7 autopilot. Intuition and signs while you're awake, and dreams while you're sleeping. And this is 24/7 autopilot. It's not like, oh, I dream once a week. No. You dream every night, as we all do, even if you don't remember. And again, the signs and the intuition. So how do you turn up the volume on everything? You use one magic word. You use the hue. You use one-step therapy. It's all the same. It's the hue technique. Just say hue. I'm going to give you a demo and talk about the hue for a minute. You inhale and hue on the exhale. Again, inhale, hue on the exhale. You simply inhale. You can do it out loud or silently with your eyes open or eyes closed. It makes no difference. This amps up your superpowers once again. Your intuition turns up the volume on everything, your awareness. And I've got another story for you in a minute, but I'm going to turn it back to Mike.
Yeah, and it's interesting, but I've always seen it as dreams. Um, we're like a magnet, and like Nick said, we're dreaming about what's on our mind. We're wondering about it. Well, in that sense, we create the dreams. We are everything. We are the magnet. When we think about something or wonder, even begin to wonder about it, we'll start having dreams about it. We have just drawn those dreams to us. So, in that sense, we're little magnets that get to see our future. So, pay attention, take a look at them because they're there for our divine guidance. And the hue is what the hue does is at a vibrational toning technique, it's like a key. See a big giant golden key, and it's the key that turns the lock, that turns the ignition on the system, dreams, signs, intuition. Essentially, sound activates the system. Sound activates the system. Dream signs it. And suddenly it's, whoa, I've been noticing more things. And I don't know, I've been getting these strange feelings, these intuitive, yeah, everything's turned on and amped up. Suddenly the system's running on autopilot and we are 10 times faster, smarter, quicker, and aware than we were yesterday. And what do you use to start it? Simply two letters, hue, H-U, hue. That's it.
Hey, so this testimonial just came in today. Hue testimonial of someone that just started hewing a few days ago. And so I'm going to read you this testimonial because at the end she mentions relationships. Okay, I've been doing the hue and I have to say I feel amazing. My dreams are vibrant and alive and I feel them more. I did write them down. Animals seem to be paying attention to me when I'm hewing. More men notice me and are talking to me, but no one has asked me out yet. LOL. Much thanks and love, Carissa. Okay, there's your testimonial. It just came in and it's so pertinent. So, okay, several things. Animals are noticing her, men are noticing her. She feels more, clear, amazing, the dreams, dot, dot, dot. So the hue amps you up big time. Okay, so it's like she's under a spotlight, which is why, the animals, the people, the men, etc. Now she said, except they haven't asked me out yet. Now that's where we're shifting here to the states of consciousness. And this is key with all your relationships and why they don't work out. Here we go. This is so important. States of consciousness. It's real simple. We date someone, if they're not a similar SOC, state of consciousness, than our own, ultimately, it's not going to jive. If you stay together, it's going to be pretty miserable. And, or if you don't stay together, it's the same. It's the same either way. The SOC does not jive. The states of consciousness are too different. So the reason men aren't asking her out, the ones that have noticed her, is because they're of a different SOC. She wouldn't want them asking her out because ultimately they are not meant for each other. Now everyone's noticing her because her vibe, because she's been hewing, but the SOCs are different. So the people, different SOC. When she runs across someone with a similar SOC, then they will, they'll hook up or start talking or what have you, and then things will jive. So that's why all your relationships have not worked out. You picked the wrong SOC, okay? And that's really what you need to focus on, because opposites attract. No, that's bullshit. They attract for about 2 minutes and then it fades, okay? Bottom line, the similar SOC. And how do you know? Well, yes, you can use dream signs and intuition, but also it's about really similar things. I love pizza. I want to go to Italy. I have a master's degree. My favorite color is blue. I love, race cars, and I love baseball, and I want to have kids, etc., etc., etc. When two people have similar things, from their background to their likes to their dislikes and ongoing beliefs, I believe in reincarnation, I believe in heaven and hell, on and on and on. It's manifested outwardly. Your SOC is manifested outwardly at that level, but truly it's your quantum signature. It's the rate and frequency at which your central nervous system, your atoms and subatomic particles vibrate. That's your SOC manifested outwardly in these, like I said, the likes and the dislikes, etc. So when you hook up with people that are of similar SOC, there's going to be harmony and longevity there. Typically, you're in a relationship. The only way you can tolerate each other is with a man cave and girls' night out, and pretty much that's it. Or lots of vacations or lots of distractions. As you see, the divorce rate is 50%, and yeah, it's pretty overwhelming.
And everybody lies, cheats, and steals. They just do. It's just the world today. You know it. We know it. And like 81% of the people online say that, yeah, they it's false information, misinformation. They're lying. So, how do you really know? Well, if you're back to the beginning point, if you're tracking the data, just the data, and you're looking outwardly, you're going to get blindsided because you don't have the real information. You don't have what you have truly access to with dream signs and intuition, because it's the superior system that gives you insight and lets you know 110% of the time what's right for you and what's not. Is it harmonious or is it not? Do you feel that gut feeling which feels, woo, it's time to do it? Or, whoa, that doesn't feel right. Exactly. Stop and reassess. So there's the divine guidance in dream signs and intuition, our system.
Nice.
Use the whole enchilada, and suddenly your life will get so much smoother. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, it will, and just one more point on one magic word or the hue. You could do it up to 20 minutes a day, 4 or 5 minute sessions or 2 10-minute sessions, or, a minute here or a minute there. If you can pick a time, that's great. Do it every day when you wake up, do it before bed, do it at noon type of thing. But the bottom line, any time is a good time. Again, eyes open, eyes closed, out loud or silently, doesn't matter. People ask, how does it work silently if it's vibration? Well, the central nervous system doesn't know the difference between something real or something imagined and responds accordingly. So that's how it works silently. But anyhow, one last point, it'll raise your discernment level naturally. It's nothing you have to program. You don't have to program like, I want my intuition higher, and I want to remember my dreams, and I want to do this, and I want to quit smoking, and I want to meet the right mate. No, 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 no. It's all on autopilot. If you add the hue, if you incorporate that into your routine, all these things will start occurring simultaneously. That's why we do call it the Holy Grail, and we do call it the universal panacea for all that ails you. So don't worry about the thing, just add the hue, and you'll have some good outcomes all the way around.
So he invites you to really use the tools, use the hue, and step into your full knowingness, because it's there for you 24/7, whether you realize it or not, whether you're using it or not. So there you go.
Yeah. So, hey guys, we're going to sign off for now. And you can get a hold of us through our website, Never Get Blindsided Again. You can also donate to the nonprofit, GoFundMe, or through our website as well. You can get our books, do it yourself. You want to connect, just send us an email. So, yeah, I mean, lots of good stuff there. Oh, you can sign up for our free Dream Decoder mini course on our website. Yep, yep, yep. Good stuff. So, anyway, that's all for now. Signing off, Nic and Mike.
Hey guys, have a good one. Signing off for now.